Philippe Legrain, who's the author of Immigrants, Your Country Needs Them. He's in our central London studio. Mr. Legrain, do you think that the fact that illegal immigration into that border into Greece has gone down is proof that this new agency, Frontex, is working?
Well, of course, you never know how many people have got through. All they know is how many people they've caught. The reality is that most people who become undocumented migrants in in Europe, don't come through a border crossing. They come through legally and then stay on after their visa has expired. Recently, we had all these headlines about people coming over from the Canaries. People also come over from Libya to Italy. And of course, there's the whole border with Ukraine, which is massive, and lots of people come through there. So, you know, there might have been a small reduction in this particular place, but the notion that people are no longer getting into Europe because of Frontex's activities simply isn't true.
You mentioned the Canary Islands, and we did all see those images of boatloads of people coming from West Africa. They are now saying that those have dropped by 90%. The Spanish authorities are saying people aren't coming through that route anymore. Why is that?
Well, Frontex has been very active in patrolling those waters. So first, people used to cross directly over from Morocco into Spain, and then they were forced to go on longer routes. Now people go through Libya into Italy. And of course, some people still do get to the Canaries. I mean, the reality, of course, is that you can't actually stop people crossing borders. Governments pretend that they can control borders, but even the Berlin Wall with a shoot-to-kill policy, didn't stop people getting across.
Do you think the fact that large parts of Europe are in the grip of an economic crisis, that there are fewer jobs available, is deterring quite a few migrants from trying their luck?
Certainly. I mean, migrants are very responsive to economic conditions. There was a big drop-off in migration from Mexico to the US as soon as the economic crisis hit. And news travels fast that jobs in Europe are hard to come by at the moment, and that it might not be the best time to risk your life trying to get there.
Finally, I mean, you make the point that Frontex isn't totally effective. But isn't it important in that it's a response to the wishes of most EU citizens, which is that they want to see the borders protected, better protected?
Sure, if it's in response to people's wishes, then that's an argument. What you also need to see is that most of these migrants apprehended on the Greek-Turkish border were from Afghanistan. We're at war in Afghanistan. The Taliban is deemed to be so terrible that we're risking European soldiers' lives there. Why then is it so terrible that people from Afghanistan want to flee the country and come to Europe because their own country isn't safe? Shouldn't we be more generous in terms of our refugee and asylum policy? And considering that we have an ageing population in Europe, in many countries a declining population over the next decade, we're going to need extra workers. Perhaps we ought to be thinking about allowing people to come in legally rather than suffering and risking their lives as now.
Philippe Legrain, thank you very much.